This is In the Know for Thursday, July 18, the 200th day of 2024. There are 166 days left in the year. Good morning, MP. Guiding you through In the Know at K105 on Litchfield Country Station 1039 The Moose, live online at K105.com via the Apple and Android smartphone app using the SoundCloud, iTunes, or Spotify podcast. On Facebook, on YouTube, on the platform formerly known as Twitter, and the hashtag is In the Know. Coming up today, we'll update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. RNC wraps up tonight in Milwaukee. We'll talk about that. Plus, Barry Williams from ECTC's Litchfield campus will stop by. We'll get caught up, have a nice chat. That and a whole lot more coming up today here on In the Know. He is a five-time winner of the coveted Ohio Newshawk Award. He's the two-time Silver Sound nominee, covering every corner of the globe: London, Budapest, Rio, Tokyo, and even Litchfield. He's Sam Gormley and the Sparks. Morning, Sam.
Morning, Ralph. Morning, Ralph.
How you doing?
Oh, good. I didn't know if you didn't hear me.
Yeah, I heard you, I think, the second time. You doing all right?
Yeah, not too bad. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. I thought I saw a, not necessarily a roll eyes yesterday, but maybe a slight smirk when you heard Thunderstruck start the show, which, after watching the Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders documentary on Netflix, I realized that Dallas uses Thunderstruck in the way that at Paycor they use Welcome to the Jungle. So I just thought today I would make your day by using Welcome to the Jungle to start the show.
Yeah, I'm never going to complain about hearing that. As we're about.
Were you surprised?
Yeah, well, see, the downside is that I have learned in all of the traditional songs that you use, I know when you start.
Yeah.
So I can plan out my little intro videos and nail to where the length of that, but yesterday and today, I don't know when you're planning on talking.
Keeping you guessing. Got to keep you on your toes. Major League Baseball returns tonight?
Technically, really, it doesn't start till tomorrow because that's when the Reds play.
Really?
I don't know if they play tonight. Yes, no.
There
are no games today.
Okay, I thought maybe there were some 4-game series that were starting
Nope.
Today and resuming for the weekend. But so one more day of the All-Star break before they get back to it tomorrow. Here locally, we're going to have lower humidity, pleasant temperatures over the next couple of days. It was a pleasant morning. We're going to see some morning clouds give way to some afternoon sunshine today. No 90s in the forecast for any time soon, at least in the 10-day forecast, and that's nice. Today, mostly sunny, a high of 84. We'll see mostly clear, 62 tonight, mostly sunny and 85 tomorrow. Saturday will be a little warmer and slightly more humid, but still a decent summer day. That humidity will bring a small pop-up shower chance to counties in southern Kentucky on Saturday afternoon, and maybe a few more areas by Sunday, so just be prepared. You know, get a little humidity building back in for the weekend, which can bring you some pop-up showers, but lower humidity and mild temperatures for the next couple of days. J.D. Vance made his formal acceptance at the RNC last night in Milwaukee on day number 3 and gave the nation a better opportunity to learn more about him. Kind of an unknown. He's 39 years of age. He's an Ohio senator. He's a relative political unknown. You know him for, and you may know him for, Hillbilly Elegy. He's been serving in the Senate for less than 2 years, so which automatically, some people will say, hey, he's not qualified. Then you can use the example of Barack Obama. He hadn't been in the Senate very long when he ran for president, so I don't know that it's probably qualifications-based, maybe more than experience-based. One person said that Jim Banks, who's an Indiana congressman, said that Donald Trump picked a man in J.D. Vance that is the future of the country, the future of the Republican Party, the future of the America First movement. He shared his story last night with his upbringing in Ohio and Kentucky, his unvarnished story. He gained prominence following publication of his best-selling 2016 memoir, Hillbilly Elegy. And because that was a presidential year, it also was very telling and revealing to people in metropolitan areas getting a better understand of what it is in rural areas, actually what's going on in rural areas of Appalachia, like Kentucky and Tennessee and, other areas, other Rust Belt type areas. He was introduced last night by his wife, Usha, who he met at Yale. She's from Southern California. She's the daughter of Indian immigrant parents. She introduced him. And last night also, Peter Navarro was on stage. So if you follow politics, you know Peter Navarro and what he's famous for. And then they kind of wrapped up the night with a bunch of Gold Star families, families that had lost servicemen and women in the line of duty to our country. So tonight is DJT's night. He will give his speech. It'll be interesting to see. He said over the weekend after his incident that he was throwing out his speech and rewriting it and coming up with something unifying. He's been seemingly gracious and grateful most of the week. So let's see if that tone continues into tonight. It was a busy day yesterday nationally from a political standpoint. Adam Schiff, who is, I'd say, like the third ring of separation from not having any more allies, has now said that President Biden should drop his reelection bid. So you get past Schiff, then you've got Pelosi. You get past Pelosi, you've got Schumer. You might say you got Hakeem Jeffries, who's already said that the president probably should do something different. There's even a report, CNN was reporting last night, that Schumer had already told him to get out of the race because of a meeting that they had had in Delaware over the weekend, but Schumer's people said that was idle speculation. They are trying to show the president polling that says that nearly 2/3 of Democrats say that Biden should step aside and let the party nominate a different candidate. And then he tested positive last evening in Las Vegas for COVID-19, which may be just an opportunity to try and get him off the trail, because after the debate, what they were trying to do is they were trying to go on a series of, all right, let's go on a tour of showing people that we're up to the job. Let's try and mend some fences. Let's try and say that the debate was a one-off, that won't happen again type of thing. But things aren't going their way out on the trail. So I don't know if this is an off-ramp for them with COVID, because they've just basically retreated to Rehoboth Beach, where I presume they will powwow. But things, I heard one of the national journalists, I think on CBS this morning, just say that the Biden campaign is kind of like, can we just go one day without bad news? And seems to be stacking up. Also, we're learning, it's kind of, you got the Biden trajectory thing, you got the RNC trajectory, and then you've still got the FBI investigation into the assassin from the attempted assassin on Saturday in Pennsylvania, learning a little bit more about him. He was an intelligent loner with few friends and apparently thin social media footprint, and no hints of strong political beliefs that would suggest a motive for an attempted assassination. The FBI cracked into his cell phone, scoured his computer, home, and car, interviewed more than 100 people, and the mystery of why he opened fire at the rally on Saturday remained as elusive as when it happened. It's no definitive reasoning, but obviously disturbed. His political leanings were also a little bit hazy. As we shared with you, he is a registered Republican, but that might have been party swapping just to have influence in elections. That it might have been an attempt to, say, sway votes for Nikki Haley in Pennsylvania. I don't know if that's the way that it happened. He did give money to a progressive PAC the day that Joe Biden was sworn into office. But he also did Google searches for Trump rallies near him. He also searched for the location of the DNC. He did search on Christopher Wray of the FBI, did a search on President Biden. So I don't know if any of those things are connected, or whether there were multiple things that were planned or that he had in mind. But he graduated in high school in 2022. And said that his classmates say that as a freshman, he tried out for his high school rifle team, but was rejected for poor marksmanship. It went on to say that he was bullied every single day of high school. So learning a little bit more about the sequence of events, and of course the head of the Secret Service in the crosshairs, getting nearly, I don't know, accosted, but getting questioned passionately by senators at the RNC last night. So I'd say that we've not heard the last of that. Back to school events begin next week here in Grayson County. The first day for students is August 7. The first back to school events begin on the 25th. That's at Caneyville and Wilkie Elementary Schools. They'll each host a kindergarten kickoff. What I would encourage you to do would just be to go to K105.com and find the story. It's clearly marked on what it is, and you'll find your school's schedule of events. You've got Caneyville, Clarkson, Lawler, Wilkie, Grayson County Middle School, and Grayson County High School. And the Tobacco Bowl is what night, Sam?
23.
August,
23?
17, 16?
23. August 23rd.
August 23rd. Very good.
Will be the Tobacco Bowl.
The Tobacco Bowl. The Biden administration's push to reclassify marijuana as a less dangerous drug won an endorsement yesterday from Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear, who said the jury is no longer out on its medical uses as an alternative to opioids that ravage the bluegrass state with overdose deaths. The governor called the proposal a significant common sense step forward, especially for people with serious medical conditions. He laid out his support in a letter to the U.S. DEA 2 months ago in a historic shift on American policy. The Justice Department formally moved to reclassify marijuana. If approved, the rule would move marijuana away from its current classification as a Schedule 1. You know, right now it's in the same bucket as heroin and LSD. If you just look around the world, look around the country, look around the younger generation, you will see that it is in no way considered to be similar to heroin and LSD by Gen Z, if you will, and not even necessarily stopping at Gen Z. You can go some generations above that. My guess is the older you get, the more likely you are to consider it the way that it has been. But there's just been a complete and total shift, especially when it comes to the idea of medical cannabis, which is on Kentucky's radar. His letter focused on marijuana's medical issues. The program here in the Commonwealth technically begins on January the 1st, but obviously there's a big ramp up to January 1. And I think the application period was July 1 to August 31. So, and just as a note, Governor Beshear included in his letter, when it comes to opioids and other dangerous drugs that are being used to try and treat chronic pain or other illness, because of the opioid epidemic from the year 2012 to 2016, so a 4-year period alone, Kentucky lost almost 6,000 Kentuckians to opioid abuse in just 4 years alone. You lost 6,000 Kentuckians, and there aren't that many of us to begin with. And that was just to death. That doesn't even count the number of lives that were ruined as a result of it. That's the ultimate ruined life. But there were plenty of other impact there. A woman has been killed in a crossover crash on I-69 down in Webster County. It happened early yesterday morning about 1:30 at the 131-mile marker of southbound I-69. State police said the investigation showed 30-year-old Dexter George of Greenville was driving a Ford F-350 southbound when he collided with a northbound Nissan Altima that had crossed the median and was traveling in a southbound lane. It was being driven by 25-year-old Krista Brune of Evansville. She was pronounced deceased at the scene by the Webster County Coroner's Office. Yesterday, if you heard KSR on 103.9 The Moose, you heard it was a meet and greet for the, is it a tournament this weekend? It's the La Familia and the TBT and a lot of former Cats and recent former Cats and a lot of older former Cats coming in to play in a tournament. And one of the things I heard them talking about was the renovated Memorial Coliseum. It's going to open next month. Are you looking forward to seeing what it looks like?
Yeah, I only got to go in Old Memorial once.
It
So
will still look the same it will still look the same on the outside, but it will be a much different experience inside. And the programs that benefit most are, do the women play there primarily?
yeah, oh yeah. They play almost all their games there in volleyball
Yeah, volleyball is
and
especially
gymnastics.
okay. Yeah, so a lot of the where they need an indoor facility where Rupp is too big and they need an on-campus facility, this is ideal. But it's an $82 million renovation to a building that opened in 1950, and it will host matches on August 30th when the volleyball team begins their season. And so one of the biggest things at some 74 years after it opened, they're going to have air conditioning, Sam.
Yeah, luckily when I was in there, it was, I guess it would have been December, so it was not as big of a deal. But I remember talking to the Western volleyball team, played a exhibition there, and it was like August the 15th when they played, and I heard that was smoking hot.
I guess so. The basketball event that we were talking about yesterday, the La Familia and all those, what's the format of that? How is that working exactly?
It's a tournament.
They're playing, who are the other teams they're playing?
So they're playing the Ballers or something. I don't remember, but in there, so they do pods, and there will be like 4 teams in each pod is how it goes along, and then they do the bracket based on that. I'm trying to pull up the bracket as I'm talking here. So like they are going to play the 305 Ballers, and there's 8 teams in Kentucky's pod, and 305 Ballers are made up with a bunch of teams. And then if they win that, they could play an Auburn alumni team, but also in their little neck of the woods is a Wofford.
Okay.
Which, if you remember, they played Wofford in the tournament a couple of years ago, and they had the one guy that was really good but had an awful game against Kentucky, Fletcher McGee. He's on that team. But the best team in that pod is Marshall.
All right. So there's one Kentucky team.
Correct. There's one Kentucky team. They're playing the 305 Ballers, and then they will play actually the Wofford team or a team called the NOF.
The NOF.
NAWF.
There's also a U of L team. There's a U of L team in the tournament too.
Correct, but they're in a different. They're in the Louisville pod.
So I heard Twanny Beckham getting a whole lot of credit for this. Is he just getting the credit for Kentucky's team,
Yes.
or is he somehow involved in all the orchestration?
No, he's the Kentucky GM.
Okay, all right. Well, it seems like he's done a pretty good job. He got a lot of good gets.
Yeah, I wish I could go. It seems like it's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Be nice. We got to get to a break. We come back. Barry Williams from ECTC's Litchfield campus is going to stop by. We saw him back on our 3000th show, but have a deeper conversation, learn more about what's happening at ECTC's Litchfield campus coming up next here on In the Know.
Comfort is everlasting. Comfort is a journey that sees no end. Every moment is a memory. Every encounter, a piece. Empathy may be our foundation, but comfort is the heart that continues. The Watkins Funeral Home legacy. A steadfast tradition from our very first service to our most recent farewell. Guided by Dave and Jordan Atwell.
Hello, friends. My name is Reagan Atwell. My parents take good care of me and my little sister. They'll do the same for your family.
Discover more online at rogers-watkins.com or experience the Watkins difference personally on North Main in Litchfield.
For more than 70 years, Owensboro Health Twin Lakes Medical Center has cared for the health of our friends, neighbors, and family members in Grayson County and beyond. We've celebrated every beautiful newborn, every successful surgery, and every healed injury. Owensboro Health Twin Lakes Medical Center is focused on finding solutions to your health challenges. As part of the Owensboro Health System, we want to keep you healthy. We want to make you proud.
Thinking about furthering your education? At Elizabethtown Community and Technical College, you'll get a high-quality education close to home at a cost that won't break the bank. Enjoy small class sizes with professors who take a personal interest in your success. Scholarships are still available, making our low tuition even more affordable. ECTC's Litchfield campus is now enrolling for classes that start August 19th. Visit elizabethtown.kctcs.edu to get started. ECTC, college for the real world.
Are you a survivor of domestic violence, sexual assault, or other similar crimes? You could be eligible for Kentucky's Safe at Home program. This Safe at Home program masks participants' addresses on all state and local public records. The program is free to participants. Find out more at sos.ky.gov. That's sos.ky.gov, because everyone deserves to be safe at home. This message is sponsored by the Kentucky Secretary of State's Office, Kentucky Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house to see a coaster that's new for the entire crew, and they call it Good Gravy.
Good Gravy, the new family roller coaster at Holiday World and Splash and Safari. Twist and turn past a gigantic rolling pin, milk bottle, and more in a race to save Thanksgiving dinner. First forwards, then backwards. It's fun with a little gravy on top. Get tickets at holidayworld.com.
Free smoking, free parking, free sunscreen!
Your choice of lifestyle directly affects your health. And while there are many complex factors surrounding your lifestyle, sometimes the simple truth is that you just need to feel better. Well, rest assured, your feel better starts right here at Midway Pharmacy. We take our time to get to know you and your lifestyle so we can provide sound advice on ways to improve your overall health. So whether your goal is to maintain a healthy lifestyle or overcome that untimely sickness, remember, your feel better starts here at Midway Pharmacy.
The deal between AI startup Adapt and Amazon is catching the attention of the FTC. Amazon hired several AI engineers from Adapt and began licensing the company's intellectual property. The feds have not disclosed the nature of the pending investigation. Salesforce confirming another round of layoffs. The San Francisco-based tech firm has not said how many pink slips are going to be handed out, but multiple reports put the number at about 300. This comes ahead of the company's annual Dreamforce conference and last year's layoffs of about 8,000 employees. Apple launching an affordable housing fund. The $50 million Housing Innovation Fund is part of the iPhone maker's commitment to invest $2.5 billion throughout California to promote affordable housing initiatives. This week's announcement focuses on housing projects in Santa Cruz and San Francisco. And the city by the bay on the verge of losing another tech giant. Elon Musk says he's going to move the downtown headquarters of X to Texas. He posted, have had enough of dodging gangs of violent drug addicts just to get in and out of the building. Check report, Mark May.
Today is World Listening Day. It is Sour Candy Day. And it's also the day we say good morning and welcome back to Barry Williams of ECTC's Litchfield campus. Most important burning question of the day, Barry, is sour candy or sweet candy?
You know, I am an indiscriminate eater of candy, but I remember being a kid in the 90s when there was all kinds of sour stuff to choose from. You had Warheads and Tearjerkers and Crybabies, and I loved all those, but I think my favorite was Crybabies because there was chewing gum in there with it.
Oh.
So it started off sour and you ended sweet, and you kind of got your cake and got to eat it too.
In the old days, we only had lemon heads. Like that was your only sour candy. And then much like with the Brat Pack, Hollywood figured out that they could make movies for teenagers and make a boatload of money because they had discretionary income. The candy makers went, I think there's onto something with these sour things because everything used to be sweet. And then all of a sudden, as you mentioned in the 90s, everything became sour.
Yes, yeah, everything became sour. And I like lemon heads too, you know. There's that my grandparents, I think everybody's grandparents, if you're a certain age, had like the jar. It was a candy jar. And in that jar, there was like an assortment of different hard candies. And, you know, and what's up with people riding on Werther's? Everybody wants to make fun of Werther's like that's some sort of old person's candy. And I'm like, dude, the caramel Werther's to just kind of have and suck on for a bit, the sweet and the salty. I mean, Come on. I don't know of anybody, regardless of their age, that doesn't enjoy a good Werther's.
My granddad was a Werther's hander-outer, like at church. He'd get handed to you. Here's a Werther's, here's a Werther's. So I can't look at a bag of them without thinking of him. So they're absolutely delicious. Hey, we were honored that you made it to our 3,000th show. I know there was quite a bit of logistical driving involved on a day that you didn't have to come to Litchfield. So I was very grateful and honored that you would join us. It was nice to see you.
It was nice to see you too, and I was privileged to be included in that. That's a big monumental occasion there. You know, the 3,000th episode of this show, and to be included in that, the honor was mine. I'm glad I was able to make the drive.
Well, thanks for coming. It's the other thing we're aware of. It's kind of in the middle of your off season, if you will. You know, you make that drive to Litchfield frequently during your terms, and you have a little downtime in the months of later May and June, July, and then you have to ramp back up. At what point in time in the summer do you sort of put the previous term into the mothballs, like retire it to history and start focusing on what's ahead?
You know, and in a way, that's kind of what summer is for me. It's just a long, drawn-out process. I always do a summer class, an online summer class, and the reason why is, I guess, to sort of keep my head somewhat in the game. It's not a full load, of course, and I don't have to advise students in the summer or do all of the other things that go along with being a college professor, but doing things like, you know, coming in here and speaking with you guys. Well, I love doing this for one, so it's not really a laborious task unless it's a labor of love, but it kind of keeps my head in it, because if you go from, you know, the 1st of May when our semester ends, or our spring semester ends, to August 19th, I think this year is when our classes start back. So you go that far without being in it, and it's like, okay, this is all new, and you get that anxiety, that whole, oh my goodness, the school year starting. Do I even remember my passwords, you know, to log into this stuff? And it kind of mines a skill that I teach the students, you know, that if you want to get over your anxiety about things, you just got to get in, immerse, and do it over and over and over, and keep it kind of in the foreground rather than push it to the background.
So you do still feel like the opening scene of Finding Nemo every first day of school?
No, yes, but I don't speak well.
You don't? Okay, that's good. So something I wanted to cover with you this morning that I've learned about recently is we're in the process of building out our crews and our teams, and it has put us in a position where we could reach out to you all and say, hey, do you have students that might have skill set that line up with projects that we have coming up, the services that we're trying to perform? And it's kind of forced us to have an internal discussion on, well, where we find potential people that have an interest or the eye for the things that we do. And not only is that in cameras and videographies and on-air talent, but obviously we're in the marketing business as well. Are you all trying to further develop marketing and business opportunities within your campus?
We sure are. We are. Jonelle Henderson, who is, she's a voice in the community that a lot of people are going to know anyway. Yep. She used to teach at elementary school at, I can't remember what the Christian private school is there in the Litchfield area where she taught. She's listening. She's probably shouting it at the radio right now. But Jonelle, if you don't know her, she is a fabulous person, has a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge, and she imparts that to her students. She is the sort of professor who teaches our business and marketing classes that is as much of a mentor as she is a professor. And I mean, she invests in her students. She goes above and beyond. And so if you're thinking about a career in business, if you're thinking about starting your own business, if you just want to try to get a handle on personal finances, she teaches a plethora of classes that can help you get a better handle on many angles of business and marketing. And part of marketing is self-promotion. You know, I know for my job, when I was applying for this job, and looking at the statistics, the average collar professorship is getting close to 100 applications. And that means they've got 100 people applying for that job. And what you've got to do is something in your resume, in your job interview, that sets you apart from the rest of them. And that's marketing, that's promotion, and that's some of the things that we hit on in that class.
I think it also helps tell the story that we've been trying to tell for a few years now, that historically, if you're my age, you might look at ECTC, or if you go way back, ECC, And you think of it as, well, that's a place to go get your gen ed stuff. It's a place to go get your basics, and then you have to go somewhere else. And I think what you've just mentioned is it's telling a completely different story, is that now with specialty opportunities or certain certifications or certain other programs that are becoming available, now it's not necessarily that you automatically have to leave and go somewhere else.
Right. I mean, we have a lot of students that come through our portal for a lot of different reasons, and some of them still are traditionally to get those basics and move on to the next level. But I'm always pleased to see some students who are older students who are just in a different stage of their life who are auditing classes just simply because they find the topic fascinating and they want to learn more about it. But I think one thing that I have to say as a disclaimer for people, because I hear this a lot and it drives me crazy, but people are saying, you go to college and you get a degree and then you come back and you still can't find a job. It's like, well, one thing to realize is just because you get the degree doesn't mean that employers are descending from the ceiling like in Mission Impossible, ready to swipe you up and plug you into a job. You still, you're just better prepared for that employment opportunity. There's still going to be the same rigor now. We do have job fairs, we do have internship programs, and we try to make partners with different places to help pair students up with potential employers. But, again, that marketing class, business class, in many ways, and I know this drives some people crazy, you have to sell yourself in a lot of ways to get a job.
You have to be hireable too.
You do. And every class that we teach at ECTC, there's the essential skills, and professionalism and communication are two of the skills that we package into every single class that we teach to try to prepare students for that workforce environment. And there has been a shift, especially in the community college system over the last several years, with preparing the students to enter into the workforce in addition to the academic rigor of just learning the stuff and being ready for that next level if you're going for a bachelor's degree.
With the arrival of 2024, there was a complete retooling of the FAFSA process, in particular the form, and it certainly had its struggles in launching. But with with saying early in 2024 they would have everything together, well, basically the first half of 2024 came and went before the dust ever settled. I've been able to sense something in you and in Bobby and in Cindy that you've been very cautious about saying too much about FAFSA in the first 6 months of the year because you're even uncertain and you didn't want to offer poor guidance. But my understanding is it's becoming a little more clear now.
Yes, FAFSA, the new Coke of college. But it seems like anyway.
Yeah.
I'm always leery. Anytime somebody says new and improved, we're making it better. Maybe I'm a Luddite. Maybe I'm like Dr. McCoy on the old Star Trek, and you start mentioning new things, and I get a little, a little hesitant. But I think they finally are working the bugs out. My brother is a software engineer, and so I have seen a little behind the scenes of what goes into doing upgrades and updates, and it just takes time, especially the bigger the innovation or the bigger the transformation, the more glitches and bugs there are in the system that you got to drive out. And hopefully now, finally, we've got it to a state where it's more user-friendly and accessible. And, I would just assure folks that are listening that are thinking about ECTC but maybe scared off by the FAFSA, that the FAFSA is not an ECTC problem. It is a higher education problem. It is something, it doesn't matter where you're going to school, you are going to have to complete the FAFSA as part of your entrance into college. And it doesn't matter how much money you have and if you're paying your tuition all on your own or if you have the GI Bill, the FAFSA is still part of the registration and entry process for every college.
You mentioned August 19th as being your launch date for the upcoming term. You register up to that date. You want people to do it now, but if you delay for some reason or you find out, hey, I'm in a position to onboard now and I didn't think I was, we can do it up until the time that we roll out August 19th?
We can. In fact, it's not uncommon for me to be calling roll the first day of class, and I look down and see my names, and I look in the classroom, and I've got one more person than is listed, and I'm like, who are you? And they're like, I just registered this morning. And I'm like, well, okay, welcome to being thrown into the fiery furnace. Here we go. But I would encourage folks to enroll as soon as possible for several reasons. Of course, mainly, the earlier you enroll, the more you can be picky on which classes you take and where you take them and when you take them. Our face-to-face seats usually fill up first. And if you want to make sure that the majority, if not all of your classes are taken face-to-face at Litchfield, you need to get there early. Now, we're still just in mid-July, so I think you've got some time. And, of course, we've got seats in our business and marketing classes, and those are some awesome classes, so people can sign up for those. But also, if you sign up earlier, you have an opportunity for our orientation, because I don't know about you, I don't like to be just thrown into the middle of a situation without any idea of what to expect or what's expected of me. And so we've got a couple of orientation dates that are coming up in August. That's Monday, August 5th, Thursday, August 8th, up until the Friday before classes start on that Monday. You can come in for orientation and just call the campus and secure a spot just to make sure you don't show up for orientation and there's 25 seats. And I'm just making up that number 25. There could be 23, there could be 30, I don't know.
Sure.
But you want to make sure that the seats aren't full and you show up for nothing.
So just you kind of got garbled there, so I want to make sure people heard those. Monday, August 5, Thursday, August 8, Tuesday, August 13, Friday, August 16. I understand emails have been sent to all the new students with specific times, so that's been communicated otherwise. But I, like you know, through my scholastic era, we might have back to school night, or you might go and meet the teacher or what have you. But I can tell in modern education, orientation has become a much bigger deal. I even thought about how you were talking about you end up with a person in a classroom that you don't have any account for, like, oh, where did you come from? It always amazed me how unsettling it must be to be the new kid in school, where you show up in the middle of the year on a Tuesday, you move, and somebody takes you and just drops you in a class of complete strangers. That has to be extremely uncomfortable and disorienting.
Exactly. And you know, the very word orientation means position, you know, or your direction, position or direction. And so if you want to be in a position to succeed or directed in the pathway of success, coming to an orientation is vital. Now, we also offer FYE. FYE is one of those courses that everybody coming to ECTC going for an associate's degree has to take. And it's kind of almost, you could think of it as a 8-week-long orientation class. But this orientation is still just going to help you figure out your email, figure out, you know, the steps to take to make sure you're enrolled and registered for classes, getting in contact with your advisor. It just gets you the lay of the land. And that really helps with getting rid of that anxiety that people have when it comes to jumping into something new.
I know you got to get busy sharpening your syllabus and getting all your curriculum lined out so you can dazzle everyone in the upcoming term. I think we're going to talk to you one more time before the official date on the 19th, but we look forward to checking in with you and seeing how your prep is going as we get closer to the return to the new school year.
Awesome, man. Yeah, it's always good to talk to you all. I think I'm inspired. I'm going to go out and grab a bag of lemon heads.
Do it. Enjoy those there on Sour Candy Day. Good to see you as always, Barry. Thanks for stopping by.
You too.
That's Barry Williams from ECTC's Litchfield campus. Got to get to a break. We'll come back. Got today's water cooler question coming up here on In the Know.
Kids across America are going to school hungry. Millions of kids every day. But one simple thing can help change all of this for a hungry child in America. Good, healthy food and the energy it brings. With help from caring people across America, No Kid Hungry is providing healthy meals and hope to hungry kids so they can build better futures. To learn more about ending child hunger in America, Go to helpnokidhungry.org today.
Music plus tradition plus excitement plus family plus fun equals the 13th annual Twin Lakes National Fiddler Championship, with events like the Rod Run, Cruise In, and fireworks at dusk on Friday, and Saturday's antique car, truck, rod, tractor, and bike show. Enjoy free children's activities and the competition starting at 9, with Jimmy Mattingly, Biscuit Davis, and Danny Roberts in concert to follow. See the full schedule at TwinLakesFiddler.com. See the full schedule at TwinLakesFiddler.com. The fiddling capital of Kentucky comes to life this weekend.
Struggling to pay your house payment? Apply for the Team Kentucky Homeowner Assistance Fund today at protectmykyhome.org. It provides up to $60,000 for Kentuckians with a COVID-related financial hardship. The money can be used for mortgage bills, utility payments, insurance premiums, property taxes, and HOA fees. Applicants must meet certain criteria to receive assistance. Check your eligibility today at protectmykyhome.org. This ad was sponsored by Kentucky Housing Corporation and this station.
Congratulations on graduating, class of 2024. It's not too late to file the 2024-25 FAFSA. And even better, there's help. Every Wednesday in June from 2 to 4 local time, there will be over 75 locations where you can receive assistance submitting your FAFSA. Don't let this school year sneak up on you. Get FAFSA help soon. For more information and a list of locations, visit KentuckyGoesToCollege.com. Brought to you by this station and Kentucky Broadcasters Association.
Do you know what red flags to look for when considering an investment opportunity? Fraudulent sellers might make unsolicited contact, tell you everyone is buying it, and pressure you to invest right now. They make hefty promises over the phone, but never put them in writing. At the Department of Financial Institutions, we have a saying. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. We're on a mission to educate Team Kentucky and protect your hard-earned dollars. Visit us online at kfi.ky.gov for more information.
Hey everybody, it's Nick Coffey here from Sports Talk 790. Summertime is finally here. Whether you ride, pedal, walk, or drive, Kentuckians are reminded to follow the rules of the road as traffic increases across the state. So buckle up, put the phone down, obey the speed limit, and always travel sober. If riding a bike or a motorcycle, wear a helmet. If walking, stay visible. Let's work together for the safety of everyone using our roadways. Be safe, Kentucky. Brought to you by Team Kentucky and the Office of Highway Safety.
Kids across America are going to school hungry. Millions of kids every day. But one simple thing can help change all of this for a hungry child in America. Good, healthy food and the energy it brings. With help from caring people across America, No Kid Hungry is providing healthy meals and hope to hungry kids so they can build better futures. To learn more about ending child hunger in America, go to helpnokidhungry.org today.
K105 weather from the Wave Storm Tracking Team is brought to you by Smith Overhead Door, SOHD.info.
Twin Lakes weather. Beautiful afternoon ahead of us. A lot of sunshine, low humidity. Absolutely gorgeous out. A high temperature in the upper 70s to lower 80s, which is nearly 10 degrees below normal for this time of year. We'll take that. Tonight, in fact, we'll drop down in the upper 50s and lower 60s. It's going to be awesome. Tomorrow, a few degrees warmer for your Friday with a high temperature into the middle 80s. And the Wave Storm Tracking Team, I'm Brian Good.
The K105 105 Days of Summer. Brought to you by Future Designs on the Twin Lakes Best Mix. K105.
Today's Did You Know is a double Did You Know. Did you know an iPhone consumes about 75 cents worth of electricity per year if it's fully charged once a day?
Really?
You know, you see those yellow stickers on your appliances that show the annual energy cost for your refrigerator or your TV or your
water heater.
Your iPhone you charge it to full charge once a day, 75 cents a year.
Well, let's work that then.
Yeah, it's well worth that. And then would you believe 4% of U.S. adults have never heard of Netflix?
There's no way.
That sounded awfully high to me.
Because I'm trying to think of that. You'd think it would be like somebody older.
Right.
But I mean, your grandmother knows what Netflix is, doesn't she?
Sure. And you can't watch television without becoming aware of it because they advertise this is on Netflix and that's so 4 of 100. Think about that. Of every 100 people you could line up, supposedly 4 of them. So if you've got a group of 1,000 people, 40 of them don't know about Netflix.
Because you think, like you mentioned the Tobacco Bowl earlier in the day, and that'll be a huge crowd. So like if there are 1,000, I mean, there'll be more than 1,000 people, but there would be 40 people in that group that would be able to say no. I don't believe that.
It's hard to imagine that you've never heard of it. It's one thing to not use it, and one thing to not have a subscription. That's much higher than 4%, obviously, but to have never heard of it is just hard for me to believe. The water cooler question today is if you or your household have not won in the last 30 days and you're 18 years of age or older, you qualify to win by texting your response to 270-259-6000, 270-259-6000. We said 4% of you don't know have never heard of Netflix. 5% of you eat this every day. 5% of you eat this every day.
What's the price?
Holiday World today. I think we'll carry that over from yesterday. Well, even if it's not a carryover, I kind of forgot what we did yesterday. So
Aquatic Center yesterday, but that's okay.
Okay, yeah. So we'll save the Aquatic Center for tomorrow. 5% of people, 5% of you eat this every day.
Oh, gosh.
What is it? I mean, every day. You think of every day.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I eat anything every day. Like, I don't think there's a specific thing that I eat every single day.
I have a specific breakfast, and it's pretty much every day, like 7 days a week.
Cheerios, right?
No, I'm not on a Cheerio. I'm not a Cheerios person anymore.
Oh.
It's not that I don't like them. I just don't. It's not my habit.
I didn't realize you broke up with them.
Yeah, I like them. I just doesn't offer enough of a. I've been trying to do considerably better, so I had to be very strategic about what I put in my diet. So it's so I just a little more choosy. The Emmys, Emmy nominations are out, the full list. We won't go through the full list, but The Bear and Shogun lead the Emmy nominations. Outstanding Drama Series, The Crown, The Gilded Age, The Morning Show. I'm just naming the ones I've heard of. I've not heard of Fallout, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Shogun, Slow Horses, or Three Body Problem. Comedy, Abbott Elementary, The Bear, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Hacks, Only Murders in the Building, Palm Royale, Reservation Dogs, and What We Do in the Shadows. Palm Royale is good. I enjoy it. That's Kristen Wiig and Allison Janney and several people that you know. It's got a pretty good cast.
I've started watching The Bear, and that's pretty good.
I've heard various things about it. I probably will get to it. Some of the snubs and surprises of the Emmy nominations. A surprise is Reservation Dogs got a nomination. A surprise is that Palm Royale got a nomination. I'm not surprised. I think Palm Royale is great. Carol Burnett's in it. Laura Dern is in it. Not to mention Kristen Wiig and the aforementioned Allison Janney. Kelsey Grammer got snubbed for Frasier. And Masters of the Air, which is a limited series on, I think it's on HBO or on Max. It's like the Air Force version or in the air version of Band of Brothers. And it's good. And kind of surprised that Austin Butler, the kid that played Elvis a couple of years ago, he's in the lead, but it got snubbed, which is kind of a surprise because it's a Tom Hanks or it's got some famous names attached to it. And then this headline was puzzling to me. It says Ozzy Osbourne reveals that he's fed up with seeing Britney Spears dance videos.
Oh.
Has anyone told Ozzy that he's allowed to watch other things or he can just turn it off?
Can you tell Ozzy anything?
Well, I mean, you can tell him, but may not be comprehended. We got to get to a break. We'll come back. There's other stuff on the internet, Ozzy. Got to get to a break. We'll figure out the water cooler question winner, chart topper, scroll of wisdom, point to ponder, and more. Coming up here on In the Know.
I once asked my oldest son, Trent, to rake the pine needles out of the rock bed in the front yard. It's a dirty job, but it had to get done. And he did okay, but there were a few areas that were tough to reach.
much. And I thought, well, he could have done a little better. So I stepped in and said, hey, let me show you how to get those hard-to-reach places. And I went at it. Several minutes later, after I'd already cleared about 10 to 15 yards worth of pine needles, I looked back over my shoulder, and there was Trent leaning against a tree, watching me with a big smile on his face. And that's when I realized my mistake. I'd focused so much on my expectations that I didn't accept my son's best efforts. Now I was doing the work I had asked him to do. Of course, when I tried to hand him back the rake, he said, no thanks, Dad. Why don't you go ahead and finish? You're almost done. We had a good laugh over it, but man, I learned a couple of important lessons that day. First, there are two important parts to parenting. The first is to be clear about what you expect from your kids. But there also has to be a point where we have to step back and decide we're okay with the job our kids have done, even if it's not up to our standards. That's a crucial and sometimes difficult balance to reach. The goal isn't to get perfection from our children. It's to encourage them toward excellence, but accept their best effort along the way. To help your kids thrive, visit FocusOnTheFamily.com. I'm Jim Daly.
The words you are about to hear are taken from letters sent in by men.
Looking for exciting summer fun? Don't spend long hours in the car and a fortune on gas and travel. This summer, play close to home. Beach Bend Park, just minutes away in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Enjoy dozens of family rides, thrill rides, water slides, and more than 1 million gallons of water park fun in Splash Lagoon. Surf the waves, float the lazy river, splash and play on Tiki Island and our interactive attractions, or just relax in your own private cabana. Spend time on the rides, not standing in lines. Hop on the awesome Kentucky Rumbler Coaster for over a half mile of exciting twists and turns and enjoy classic rides, sure to please the whole family. Stay for daily shows, Gold Rush Golf, games, food and treats. Book the ultimate birthday party, group outing, or corporate event at Beach Bend. Check out our online calendar for Water Wednesdays and Friday Night Lights, featuring fireworks and special shows. At Beach Bend, parking and sunscreen are always free. So much fun, so close to home. Visit beachbend.com for discounts. Beach Bend Park. Fun for the whole family. Beach Bend Park.
MB's Point to Ponder for today. What has gotten so expensive you no longer buy it? What has gotten so expensive you no longer buy it?
I don't think I have anything on my list.
It is a, I don't know if it falls into the category, but the only thing I can think of for us specifically is that we are no longer Disney annual pass holders, but it's a combination of increased prices across the board for that experience. But also, when Alea started school, it became much harder for us to get the value because we weren't going down there 4 times a year. So we just kind of eliminated that and said, well, we'll do that again some other time in the future. So that's something that has as much to do with the expense of it and then saying we're not even getting any value from this.
Well, then you don't have a daughter to see down there either.
That's 100%. And I did get, I got a text the other day that was a maybe clandestine request from Brady that he's wanting to go to Disney World.
I don't think he can ride Space Mountain yet, though, can he?
He's not tall enough for the rides yet. But it's funny that you mentioned that because what I got was a chart, a photograph of a chart where you can put on your wall that has all of the necessary heights for Disney World rides. And then it has the place where then you can write in your child's height at particular dates so that you celebrate by saying, hey, you made it to Splash Mountain today or whatever. And so I heard that as a request from Brady James that he wants to go to Disney World.
And something tells me that Brady James will be going to Disney World then with you as soon as he is eligible.
He won't have to wait for Granddad to do it. His mama obviously is a big fan, so that would be no problem. 5% of people eat this every day. 5% of people eat this every day. Did you write anything down, Sam?
Put fruit. I don't know. Just the 5% was just throwing me off. I was stumped.
Ice cream. 5% of people eat ice cream every day. $3.65. On Christmas, they eat ice cream.
I mean, I know some people, once they hit a certain age, they say, screw it. I think my grandma once, when she moved into her, assisted living care, I think she said, screw it. I'm 95.
I'm having my ice cream.
Yeah. Who's going to stop me?
I like it. Here.
It does look like we do have a winner today.
Oh, we do.
Or actually a couple. Do you want to pick a number between 1 and 3?
I'll pick 2. I'll go right in the middle.
73-63.
73-63. Congratulations. On TV tonight, Lucky 13 on ABC, Press Your Luck on ABC. I think there's another episode of Big Brother tonight. And then Decision 2024, the Republican National Convention. It'll be Trump's night at the convention tonight. Today's highlight in history, this date in 1976 at the Summer Olympics in Montreal. Nadia Comaneci of Romania became the first gymnast to receive a perfect score of 10 from Olympic judges for her performance on the uneven bars. And then I thought it was interesting. It's obviously a lot of talk in the nation about this. In 1947, this date, President Truman signed a Presidential Succession Act, which placed the Speaker of the House and the Senate President pro tem next in the line of succession after the Vice President. And that's still the way that it is today. So it's President, Vice President. Then in our case now, it would be Nancy Pelosi. And the Senate President...
No, Speaker of the House is the guy from Louisiana. Johnson.
Oh, right. Mike Johnson. Yeah, Mike Johnson. Then it would go Mike Johnson, and then...
I don't even know who the Senate President is.
So, but the Vice President presides over the Senate. So, I'm not sure how that works. If we've already gone through the Vice President, then how do we... So, I'm not sure how we square that, but anyway, that's the order that Truman signed. Red Skelton was, I guess I should give you our actual birthdays today. Dick Button is 95. James Brolin is 84. Joe Torre is 84. Richard Branson is 74. Ricky Skaggs is 70. Nick Faldo is 67. Vin Diesel is 57. Penny Hardaway is 53. Kristen Bell is 44. Priyanka Chopra is 42. And Olympic track star and sprinter Noah Lyles is 27. Noah's probably going to win the gold medal in, I guess, early next month. I think track and field is the second week. So it would roll into the month of August. Most people are getting KSR in just a few seconds. So have a great day. Gone but not forgotten. Red Skelton, Nelson Mandela. Red Skelton, 1913. Nelson Mandela, 1918. John Glenn Jr., 1921. And Hunter S. Thompson, born this date in 1937. Chart toppers for today. Les Baxter's Orchestra, and April in Portugal. If you've heard that much, you've pretty much heard it all. Let's go to 1962. The Orleans and Watusi. Watusi. Do you know what the Watusi is, Samuel?
Should I?
It's just a dance. You just do the Watusi. So
can you do it? Can you do it for us right now? Then?
No, I'm not an expert at it actually. I know some dances, but they're typically more from the 80s and 90s.
The Electric Slide.
James Taylor, You Got a Friend. Boogie Woogie Oogie. 1971. This song is number 1. Sam, at one point in time, I could even square dance a little.
Could you Cotton Eye Joe?
No, Miss Buckles can Cotton Eye Joe, but I'm not.
Can Alea?
Cotton Eye Joe. I'm sure she can.
I didn't even know if Alea's, if that's still a thing.
She has heard Cotton Eye Joe, yes.
Okay, good.
In some of our dance parties. Billy Joel, It's Still Rock and Roll to Me, number 1 in 1980. Bum, bum. Where have you been hiding out lately, honey? All right, let's go to 1989. Simply Red, If You Don't Know Me by Now.
See, if I tried to Cotton Eye Joe now, I'd probably tear something.
You'd end up needing cotton balls.
Yeah, or a hamstring.
Because you might be bleeding or... 1998, the Goo Goo Dolls.
I'd probably need to go see Isaac Miller after it.
Probably. It's Iris.
This is a good song.
Resnick. Yeah, it is a good song. It was huge in 1998. And in 07, Fergie #1, Big Girls Don't Cry. And in 2016.
This was big in 07.
Yes, it was. Justin Timberlake, Can't Stop the Feeling, #1, 8 years ago today. All right, MB's Proloism for today says, you can if you think you can. You can if you think you can. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Remember, God loves you, and I do too. If you don't know Jesus, let me know, and I'll introduce you. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for another edition of Our So. For Sam Gormley, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
Powering through the Twin Lakes with the best mix of music, news, weather, and